afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. I hope you are keeping well during this difficult period, and I would like to welcome you to this environmental security webinar. The speaker and moderator for spending time with us today, and a shout out and thank you for the support from MSME. And also please take note that we are going live at our Facebook page for this webinar, and also we will recording this webinar and it will be uploaded to our Facebook page at Industrial Track Exhibition and Industrial Roadshow, and in our Facebook group at Knowledge for Action. I shall not delay this further, and I will pass the webinar to Edwin from All Corporation, and I wish you a fruitful 1 hour here. At any time you can post and interact with each other on the Zoom chat box, and also you can post your question at our Facebook Live. You can type in Burmese and I will translate you over for you. However, the question at Facebook will take longer time for the translation. Now I will pass to Edwin.
Thank you, Lily. Good afternoon, everyone. It has become an overnight challenge to work from home and managing some important diagnosis for factory through WhatsApp video and Zoom meetings. Today, we have an expert sharing their knowledge with us. The expert will do their sharing first, and we shall move to the Q&A at the end of the session. Today, we are here to share and connect online. The topic for today's webinar is environmental security, threats, challenges, impact, and efforts. Here we have Dr. Azra Munira. She is the environmental lecturer for Faculty of Civil Engineering and Built Environmental from UTHM. She is the expert for environmental security and pollution. Here I would welcome Dr. Azra Munira. Now I shall pass the webinar to Dr. Azra Munira.
Okay. Shall we start? Before that, can you hear me very clearly?
Yes.
Mr. Arvin?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, the respected chairperson, Mr. Arvin, and also thank you for the organizing committee led by Miss Lily. So Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon to everyone. I had to be invited as a speaker for this industrial roadshow event. So for today, I was given a task to give a talk and some knowledge about environmental security. It's about threats, challenges, impacts, and efforts. So I would like to express my gratitude and proud to see all of you guys here this afternoon for this knowledge session from me, and together we hopefully can raise our environmental very well. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Azra Mador. I did my PhD in environmental engineering, particularly in contaminant transport. So in water, in soil, and also a bit of hydrological work at site. And I was graduated from the University of Western Australia. So it's a bit of about myself. And now I'm currently teaching on environmental engineering, environmental chemistry, also environmental management. And actively involved in consultation works and also research. And part of my time, I will get involved with the NGOs and also industries to take part in industry talk and also social corporate responsibility, CSR. So I start this today with a quote by Benjamin Franklin. I'm pretty sure everyone has listened about this before. So one today worth for two tomorrows. So what does it mean by this? What I can say is anything we do today will multiply, and become a better tomorrow. So our life is now is like a battle. Okay, why is called a battle? Because we are going to share our with the next generation. So our life today is much more important, uh, and every battle has its own price. Okay, so what are the sacrifice that we need to do today? So we need to think of our children, and we need to manage the nature properly, the environmental properly, so that we can pass it to our next generation nicely, and let them breathe peacefully. Okay, so that's how I interpret one today words for two tomorrow. So this is very important principle for us. So a bit of outlines for today's talk. I will start with a definition and how we're going to define environmental security or environmental safety, and what are the threats, the challenges, what are the impacts, and also the efforts that we need to take. And finally, I would like to deliver some take-home message for you to bring back and do it. So first of all, what is environmental safety or what is environmental security? So actually, it's like another form of safety or compliance, but this time, like we are talking about environment, and this time, the environmental security or safety itself, um, it takes the whole environment for the entire globe. Okay, so it covers practice, policies, procedures, and everything that include in the environmental security to ensure safety and well-being anyone of every one of us in immediate areas. So it includes proper waste disposal, like for example, containment and storage and potentially toxic chemicals, as well as any other hazardous material. Why is it important? So why is it important? We just look at different man-made disasters, okay, around us. We have lately we have a lot of forest wildfire, toxic waste, um, toxic waste disaster, nuclear explosion, oil spillage everywhere, part of the natural disasters. So what are these come about to us at this moment? So this is all about regarding the environmental safety, the environmental safety measures that we did take. Okay, so we actually need to address all the environmental security measure in our practice, so that we can avoid all these kind of disasters. So the three areas. So the three areas where environmental safety is of particularly concern, we can say that first, occupational safety and health can reduce risk to employees in the first place. Uh, so before we take care of others, we must take our employees first. And then we go to environmental control, where we concern about the preventing the pollution and other threats to the environment. For example, here, like I give you, preventing dumping of chemicals into local ecosystems and ensuring management of waste material. And the last one is about chemistry. We concern on how we do the storage, the usage, the handling, as well as the disposal. So the threats. Talking about the threats, it refers to the biological, physical, and also chemical components and system to sustain what is necessary to us to take care of the environment, and the things that we already existed and happen or to be happen. For instance, like water scarcity, depleting aquifers, and also melting glaciers. So which all of these can lead to seawater the melting glaciers can lead to seawater level rise, and most importantly, increasing population each and every year. So with the increased population each and every year, which demands many supplies from various resources, so we need to supply the people. At the same time, we need to sustain the environment. Okay, so we are actually diminishing price of inputs into human system, and there is where the inputs of contamination enters the human system. Even not only human, but also the ecosystem itself. And the pollution occurs at multiple scales from global to local and even ways to different countries in places around the world. So what we can see, what pollution happen in this world nowadays is all is a return to us because we already utilize all the various resources, natural resources, and then for the ecosystem, it must give some return to us in terms of in the form of disaster, okay, or water scarcity or drinking groundwater. So we need to replenish water actually, not just overuse it and time by time, and also we are actually depleting the groundwater. So, World Resource Institute has already reported and predicted like this water stress across the globe in 2040. So we can see here the yellow, light yellow, yellow, orange, red, and red. They are where the water stress is extremely. So this is predicted by World Resource Institute, and it becoming serious future in 2040. Okay, we can see all the Asian countries here, the red one, Malaysia still yellow, but they are alarming. Okay, so they are alarming. So we need to prepare alternative water resources for the globe, for the all the nation. Okay, so what are the challenges? The real challenge is where we are not against development and industrialization. Okay, remember all environmentalists are not against the development and industrialization. It's just a matter of how we handle the situation, how we manage our resources, and also conduct our operation in fulfill supplies. Okay, so there are great challenges. Major concerns about the global environmental change, where we're focusing on the interaction between um, ecosystem and mankind, and the effects of global environmental change on the environmental degradation, and the effect on increasing social requests for resources, ecosystem services, and also environmental goods. Okay, so as World Resource Institute projected, the world population growth will increase exponentially until up to 2050. So we can see developing regions and also industrial regions both are increasing, and this means that we're gonna have a bigger population in the future, and it shows that we need to use more resources to supply the demand of the people and also the big population. So again, we are actually facing all this ecological interaction, because what we human needs the food and the water from the earth, from the nature. So the nature itself has the interactions between themselves, like they need food each other, they need to supply oxygen, they need to absorb the carbon dioxide and everything. So once the ecological system is not balanced, then everything will chaos. So the human itself will experience difficulties in getting a new or a safe resources from the nature. So another thing is global environmental change. So before this, we can see a beautiful scenery, the green scenery around the world, And what if in the future, if you cannot see anymore, if we are not starting by today, okay, by today, to make sure the better tomorrow. So as you see in the picture here, instead of looking at the rainbows and also the green sceneries, the green background, blue sky, so it turns the other way around. It turns dark on the other side, and it becomes dry and uh, gloomy and everything, foggy and very sick. Okay, so later on I will explain on environmental degradation. So, what are the impacts? Talking about the impacts of the environmental security towards the sustainability environment. So, the most crucial part of the urbanization or industrialization is to maintain the environmental safety and security. Okay, that is the most crucial part. So, actually, various can impact the earth uh, in so many ways. Like we have water, we have forests, we have land, and also air, fresh air. We have very peaceful conditions, but later on, after the environment has been degraded, it return foggy, um, smoky, and very noisy, and also very dry land like here, like in the photo here. So actually, once anything that we do in this world, in our routine life, so it will reflects to the nature, and this is how we're going to or we're going to pass our nature to the next generation. Okay, so what kind of nature, what kind of environment we need to pass to the next generation is determined by us today. So besides that, from the urbanization and also industrialization without proper environmental security measure taken, so this is where we face another problem here. That is unwise development, and so we can see improper city planning, improper ducting, and also improper drainage can cause a massive flash flood, and also improper management of the emission from industry can also give even haze and smoke. Okay, photochemical smoke. And what if we dump the waste illegally? So as you can see here, the globe becomes red when we dump the waste illegally. So we can see if on in the ocean, we have the oil spillage. On the land, we dump waste, chemical waste, hazardous waste. So it is our choice, okay, to make it clean, to make it green, or to make it blue, or to make it red. These are all alarming, and then we need to ask ourselves whether we are really doing the correct things to the environment, or we are the other way around. So again, it's back to us. And what and the more earth will be degraded, and the more ecosystem will be impacted, and the more mankind will be affected. Okay, so if you want things to happen, then we need to plan it properly, we need to do it according. So this is something that really need to think of and prevent from happening. So this statement is really eye-opening. Without environmental sustainability, economic stability, and social cohesion cannot be achieved. So what does it mean by economic stability? As you can see in the graph, it's going upward and downwards. And one of the reasons why it's going downward was the environmental sustainability. If we cannot sustain the environment, then economically we go down respectively. For example, if we have outbreak, we have disasters, then the economic activities might as well interrupted, and automatically we go downwards. Okay, So another thing is about social cohesion. We cannot be socialized. So we cannot like communicate and travel across the world just because of the uh, environmental unstable. So in other way around, it means that the most important thing in the world is about sustainability, environmental sustainability. Because of what? Once we, if we didn't care about the environment, then we need to spend more. We need to spend more. We need to make correction, and we need to give chance to the environment to breathe again. Okay, like for example, it stopped because of the COVID-19 previously, recently, and if we can see that our nature, our environment is very well recovered, right? So we can see clear blue sky, uh, blue water, clear blue water, and we can see the animals happily, and also the plants growing very well, and the river flow nicely, everything. So because of the human activity, okay, it's actually because of us. So once we think about the environment, we do good to the environment, and the environment we do us. Okay. So so enough talking about the challenges and the threats. And now we are actually must think about our responsibility, not our efforts. We're not pointing fingers to others. We point one finger to others, and then another four fingers coming back to us. So we are not in practice. So if we our efforts, our solutions, we must think of ourselves first. What did we do in order to make to control the environment and to make the environment sustainable? Okay, so resilient at different. Why I use this sentence, this text? Because we are human. Okay, we are human and we are resilient. So uh, and we can change according, we can plan our work, we can change, and we have choices, we have brain to think, we have emotion, we have to feel. So we can feel whatever differences, or we can see clearly whatever the impacts of our anthropogenic activity environment. Okay, so we are resilient, and we must do all the resilience to improve the nature. So what are the resilience in terms of at different levels? So in terms of social capital, how the human networks can come together. Okay, what does it mean here? We ourselves, we come from the different countries, even though we are in Asian, but we never worked before, right? So this time onwards, we need to think like this seminar is a good platform for us to unite and think of the same conscious. So we work about the environmental sustainability together, and we care of our environment, and later on if we get the environment will return to us the good things. Okay, so how the human networks come together means we ourselves. So this is very important. Everyone must aware and have the sense. If only one of us or some of us think about the environment, it wouldn't happen. We need to do it together, and we need to uh, holding our hands together to make it happen, to make it real, like we do how we treat the COVID, and how we do the prevention of the COVID to come again to us. So we need to do it together and strengthen ourselves. So it's not very hard actually, but it just be from us, start from very individual, the family itself, and the community, and also the industry also give contribution, and also come forward together, not only leave it to the society, and society not blaming to themselves, and industry also take care of the environment, then everyone must can contribute to the good nature. So it's everyone's responsibility. So talking about the national strategic planning, so my of view here, the environmental security should be included into national security planning. Why? Why I said like that? Uh, because this is a this national security itself. Okay, without the policy makers to take place into the system, and it wouldn't. I would say it wouldn't happen, because we at the bottom places, we are society, and we do our parts, and the government will allocate some money or give support in terms of fundings and everything, the planning itself, so that we can see in future. Okay, we can predict our future, what will happen next. So another things about the government is we need to do some changes in the new renewable energy. Okay, so we can see like Malaysia with abundance of water, abundance of rainfall. So we have abundance of hydrological power. So we can see we use hydrological power for our energy. Like in future, maybe we don't know. We might use wind, or we might use ocean, the wave, to get some energy, or some other else. Like solar system. Okay, so we start to use the renewable energy in future. Some of the country might have already used or used fossil for their energy, and we actually must move towards that. Okay, so uh, merit attention at highest level. Okay, merit. The government and also the employer should give merit to the employees who are very green, who take care of the environment, and the government also must do some same things, giving merits to the highest level. Like for example, tax reduction, or the logo, or the what we call that, reward to the industry who practice the green products, and they deserve to have that uh, uh, reward. Okay, so once we give merit to the industries, the industries will do better. So that's how we work. So other than that, the policymakers or the nationals should also understand the various impacts of climate change. As we can see nowadays, there are so many impacts of the climate change. Okay, we can see the earthquakes, the hurricanes, cyclones, everything, but we never think that how it becomes so often. Okay, almost every day happen in the earthquake happen in across the world. So if you can see under the US survey, it's almost every time. Okay, it just with uh, high attitude, or just a very small one, small earthquake, but actually it happened. So we are actually resilient. So in terms of the individual and also policymakers, the government, we are need to both work, and we must get towards the society. Okay, so okay, before I end this talk, so I'd like to deliver some take-home message here. It's not about against the development. It's not about against the industrialization. It's not about against the urbanization. So it's all about we can how we sustain our environment in the next for the next generation. Okay, so we start today for a better tomorrow, and it's not easy, but we can do it if we have same conscious. Okay, I mean we have all the similar purpose or similar objective to achieve the aims of getting the better environment, so we can do it together. So in terms of uh, the government itself, they must put into consideration and they must put in important top priorities and in the national agenda to bring all the sustainability environmental sustainability programs to make it happen. Okay, so I think I finished early and I like to open for any questions if any uh, from the floor. Pass back to Mr. Arvin. Mr. Arvin. Hello, Mr. Arvin, are you there?
Yes, thank you for your wonderful session, ma'am. There are a few questions. How can we check if our soil is contaminated? Is there a tester kit? We are worried about the neighboring new factory waste will give a farm issuing in long term.
Sorry, farm, about farm. What was the question again, Mr. Arvin?
How can we check?
Soil contamination and
how
then?
can we check if I'm audible?
I can hear you, but it's on and off.
How can we check if our soil is contaminated?
Okay. Just that the question?
Yes.
So for the soil contamination, it's actually we have apparatus in lab. So we need to go to the site and then we bring back the samples, undisturbed samples, and then we do analysis in the geotechnical lab in terms of the moisture contents and everything. And we go to the analytical lab, environmental analytical lab, to check the contamination. Okay, series of equipment to check the contamination of the soil. Like for example, you can go for our SRF to see the composition in the soil. And then you can also do a slurry method and the contamination through the concentration of anion and okay by using inductive coupled plasma or ion chromatography.
Is there a tester kit related to this?
We don't actually have the very simple tester kit actually. We only have like pH probe to bring to the site to get the pH to see whether the soil is acidic or alkaline, basic or acid, and then we must get the lab. Okay, so it's whether we test it directly from the soil or we do the slurry method mixed with the water and check what are the leach out from the soil and then do the analysis.
Okay.
Is that answering the question?
Right. So what do you think how this COVID-19 has impacted the environment? Mrs. Nansari Srivanchi.
COVID-19 has impacted the environment.
What do you think how this COVID-19 has impacted the environment?
Okay. COVID-19. Okay, it's a special issue. Okay, it impacted on human actually. But as we can see to the environment, COVID treat it differently on the other way around. As we can see, the COVID-19 let the nature rest. Everything let the human activity stop, and then give chance and times to the environment to recover. So it's actually the good things happen during COVID is we can see the ecological system almost get back its balance. Okay, so so once the human activity start again, we can see that the things go like normal, like before COVID-19, and it started again and again. So it's good to have 3 break for the nature to get back and to replenish everything, to recover from their
Okay.
yes. And after that, we can see, we can learn something from COVID actually for the humans.
Right.
We can learn something from the COVID, yes. How COVID treat the environment, and it's good. Actually, we can do it. We can get back all the balanced ecosystem by
Right.
reducing our daily pollution, okay? Daily
Right.
emission, daily pollution. Yes.
Absolutely right. And the next question is, will
Mm.
there be sustainable manufacturing revolution in emerging markets? Because many big investment likes to go to emerging markets because it is cheap and a more relaxed governing systems. How to protect our emerging markets from being a victim to big corporation by Mr. Ma Ong.
The emerging markets.
How
Okay.
to
So
protect our emerging markets from being a victim to big corporation.
it's about emerging markets, okay? So
Yeah,
I think uh, it's actually back to the main organization, okay?
right,
So we're talking about saving environment, the security of the environment. So if you can do like emerging market, so if you can think we can reduce all the pollutants, reduce the contamination to the environment, then it we can proceed it. But again,
right.
we get back to the organization, how they support the system or the program. Okay,
Okay,
is
okay,
otherwise it's not giving any other certain effects to the environment. So I think it's good to have like emerging markets. So hopefully we can reduce the pollution
okay,
and
okay.
emission everything. Yes,
So
but again,
emerging markets like a country like India, Vietnam, these countries are like in a cheap, but it's more corporation to pollute with their manufacturing. So what do you think, like if we are targeting with various countries which have very less economic thing?
yes, it, it's good. Interrupted, internet interrupted. It's good actually, but please, from my point of view, um,
Okay,
we cannot, like for example, India is very cheap country, very cheap in processing everything, but it's not good if we dump everything, if we like focus only manufacturing in India. We send it to India to do the manufacturing, for example, and India has to do so many things to overcome all the pollutions, all the created by the industries.
yeah,
So can
I'm
instead of,
speaking about India is not a cheap country, but more about the resources that are available are cheaper in India. I'm
yes, yes,
speaking in that
yes,
terms.
yes, that's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. Is because if we know that the India is producing or using the cheaper resources in there,
right.
then it's not good to like just focusing on that particular countries. We can use any other resources from the other country as well, like
Okay,
homegrown plants, everything.
okay,
We do the plantation. We use renewable or reusable material.
okay,
So that is much more better than we just like give it to one particular country to handle
okay.
everything just because the cheap resources from there.
Right.
Okay, so
Dr.
we can
Azra,
send them,
yeah,
but actually
yeah,
contribute more.
got it. Okay.
Mm.
Dr. Azra, could you share a list of few factories SOP to protect our environment?
Few
Factory
countries,
SOP, few factory
factories
SOP,
SOP.
yeah,
Okay,
to protect our environment.
factories SOP. it's not really is called best management practice. Okay,
Okay.
I would like to call it as best management practice.
Okay.
Like for example, you use the green technology and also reusable material, and you do the reduction at source. Reduction at source means you use only the size of packaging. Okay,
Okay.
don't
Okay.
overuse the packaging. If let's say you want to do it like 500 ml, please don't do it the packaging for 700 ml, for example.
Got it.
So
Okay.
another thing is that one is called reduction at source. And also we you use the industry also can use the green technology. What I mean here is like to save more energy.
Okay.
Okay, energy, and then use the energy, renewable energy like solar panel and everything. So it becomes the best management practice. And please produce as minimized as you can for the waste. And also the
Is
control
there a
measure. Okay,
certification?
the pollution control
Okay.
measure. You must invest by your own for your chimneys, everything. Like you must not
Okay.
allow
Okay.
the pollutants or the contaminants go outside to the environment. That you must have your own
Okay.
absorbent, for example, your own filter media at your chimneys to capture
Okay.
all the contaminants and don't let it flow to the, okay. Because of what? Because as we know that industries tend to produce VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and also um, the the gases, the harmful
Okay.
gases like nitrogenous oxide, sulfide, sulfur oxide, everything. So handle it.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Any other question, Mr. Alvin?
yeah. Is there a certification board that can certify our factory green? And do you suggest like this kind of certifications may work in what kind of in positive way?
The certification. Yes, I would suggest the certification.
Madam Lindy. Yeah.
Yeah, like the medal or what we call as reward to the industries. Okay, because of what? Because people all work with money, right?
Right.
People want more profit, and people want the use very less money.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and that because of that, so we need to appreciate people by giving them money. If you want
Okay.
to give them like compound or fine is fine, but later on after they break the rules, after they disobey the
Oh.
regulations, and then we can do the compound, but
Okay.
as high as compound as the government give, like for example 3 million, 5 million, 10 million,
Right.
something
Right.
like that. Not 500, 700, 1000, anything.
Okay.
So another thing is giving reward. By giving reward, it actually motivates the industry to go more greener, okay, produce more green and practice environmental friendly or operations in the factory. Okay, so the government should give the certificate to the company and also reward.
Okay. What is your take on climate change and particularly flooding issues like recently Yangtze River flooding causing almost 3 million displaced in China? Do you think this is climate change or infrastructure issue?
Yes, I would say that is sort of combination of problems. But actually, when we talk about climate change, as you can see nowadays, um, the weathers also sometimes quite in order. Like you can see rain in the summer, also flowers blooming in the winters, and it's not like it's not in, okay. So it goes in order, and you can see the monsoon changes not quite at time. So because of that, because of all the factors, like I said just now, greenhouse and also it will contribute to the changes of the weathers, okay, because of climate change, and the glaciers are melting and will cause a sea level rise. And you know that if the sea level rise at the same time, heavy rainfalls, downpour, and it will cause flash flood, okay. So improper city planning as well. Improper city planning and also improper drainage system could also lead to flooding, massive. So the soil itself can penetrate water, can absorb waters. But what if we already covered with all the concrete and the road construction everywhere? So the water don't have any path or any ways to go inside the soil and to penetrate the soil. So it will go as everything as surface runoff, and it will become flooded very easily. So that's my opinion.
Dr. Azra, what do you think about genetic modified food? It is heavily chemical. We are farmers, but it is highly recommended. So, do you think GMO affects our environment? By Madam Diamond.
GMO. About the GMO, that's another thing. There's two kind of safety involved here. One is chemical safety, and also another one is biological safety. So sometimes people to get it against the biological safety because of what? They love to combine foods, love to combine genetics. They are more excited to combine the rather than thinking of their security point of view. Okay, so that's the biological part. And about the chemical parts, okay, in the process of doing the GMO, it must involve, it's used to get involved with so many chemical process. And we, of course, want the genetic modified organics, but actually we are creating more more technology inside. We want it to be organic. We want to be better, but let rather, but we already put so much thing inside. Okay, so you must be careful when you do the GMO. You must take care of the biological part and also chemical part. Less chemical and of the biological security as well.
Dr. Azra, which one is easier to adopt green energy, new emerging countries or developing countries? By Mr. Somboon.
Which one to adapt?
Which one is easier to adopt green energy? Is it new emerging countries or developing countries? The question is from Mr. Somboon.
It has positive and negative. I mean, advantage and disadvantages.
Okay.
In terms of the developing countries, so many things have developed. Some of the time they need to turn back a bit, backward a bit, and take some precautions and learn from, take some lesson from what they have done in the in the back time. So so they also have advantage on the what we call technology. Okay, so they can do better because they have better technology in developing countries, and actually they can think of better opportunities how to make environment more safe rather than the emerging countries. But emerging countries, they also have advantage because they are not yet developed into developing countries, and they have so many resources. And can start from scratch. Okay, they can plan from the earlier how to become a good developing countries in the future, and with proper planning of the management, environmental management. So for my opinion, they both have a positive side. So doesn't matter. Just start and start the green projects and everything. Just think
Right.
environment. Yeah.
Do right. Do you think like developing countries can help adopt the new emerging countries,
Sorry, I can hear you. I can hear you,
or
Avin.
the developed countries can help? Yeah. Uh, do you think the developed countries can help the new emerging countries to adopt the green revolution?
To adopt green evolution.
Yeah, the green revolution, or the green energy.
Yes. Because of yes, I think both type of countries can adapt and adopt the green revolution. So like I said just now, it can both start from the beginning. Maybe some from the lesson learned from the back time, and
Okay.
but they also can scratch whatever not taken yet, not taken action yet. They can start from now, but whatever they have done wrong previously, they take the lesson and do the correction and stuff that they can do better. Okay.
Okay. Dr. Azra, do you think organic farming is the way of life? Madam Kruang Pomsiri.
I would say that everything so-called organic is good for the environment. Because of what? Because it's what we take from the environment and then we return it to the environment. So
Okay.
we use less chemicals in the organic farming in order to produce a very safe product, very safe plants, and so that we can eat a very safe food uh, from the plants, and
Okay.
for us to take care of our health. But most importantly is organic things. Okay, so we
Right.
don't use
Right.
so much chemical in the fertilizers, for example, and it is very friendly to the environment, because once we use the phosphate and sulfur fertilizers and we goes to the environment, to the water system, it will cause uh, nutrient overload, and also what we call that it will pollute the body. Okay.
Right. Do you think like organic farming should be adopted across all the traditional farming?
Traditional farm or farming.
Yeah.
So the organic farming is actually it can be done in anywhere. It's not only by
Okay.
traditional farming. In modern
Okay.
farming also we can do it. Uh,
Okay.
but in small scale, in matter of small scale or big scale. So we can do it like in traditional farming, like in emerging countries.
Right.
Yes. So of like a big farm, a big land for the farming,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we use everything organic, and the huge scale of the organic farming will of course give more impacts to the environment, positive impacts to the environment. But for the modern one, I think it's not it depends on us why how we do it. Okay, we do it.
Okay.
Mm.
My next question is, Dr. Azra, pollution is killing our fish. Is there a way we can do for our marine life? The question is from Java Bharat,
Marine life.
Mr. Tongsang from Java Bharat.
Okay, you know one thing about marine life. Marine life is very sensitive to the temperature. Okay, so actually when the
Right.
global climate change happen take place in the world, so it will uh, it will definitely increase a little bit of the temperature of the water.
Okay.
So they are very sensitive. Then first of all, they need to stable. They will move from the parts of the water. Maybe they go deeper side of the water to get a
Right.
colder temperature, for example. And if you know that the ocean is threatening, then they go for somewhere else. Okay, like for example, we not go to the beach for the breeding. Because of the threatened ocean, and also like you can see like coral reef is start to degrading because of the temperature increase. Okay, so if you want to get back the marine life, the safety or the security of marine life, you must take care of the global temperature. And another thing is our pollution. You must control our pollution and please not allow the pollution to the ocean, the marine life, the marine system, marine ecosystem. Okay, once for example like we have plastic bottles and everything, the net
Right.
for fishing, yes, for fishing, everything is it is all trapped and dangerous to the marine life. Okay, so both of the things that we need to take care of instead of for the marine life. And another thing is wastewater. Please don't allow any untreated wastewater to directly to the ocean. You must first treat the water, wastewater at the primary system and also secondary treatment system. Even if you need to go for tertiary treatment system before you allow the wastewater to the water bodies. I mean the river and also the and straightway go to the ocean. Okay, because some practice they just have the industry next to the ocean marine something and they just wastewater to go inside without treated.
My last question is, Dr. Azra, our river is
Yes.
poisoned by a factory nearby. Authority is not helping. But we have many tribe people staying around the river. Their children and well-being is affected. Is there a way we can clean the river or how to take care of our river? We cannot fish any more because the fish will float in the river and die instead. The question is from Mr. Nibyon Van Lung from Vietnam.
Yeah. Okay. One thing about water. Okay, water life. I would like to share something very, I think very significant for us because
Okay.
the water life is really depending. Okay, they really depends on the water quality itself. If you want the life, the water life there, we must take care and control the quality of the water because at certain stage of the water quality, the quality of water, like what we call the salinity of the brackish life, water life will not go into the saline water,
Right.
and the saline, yes, then the saline water life will not go into brackish water, and it would not go to into the fresh water as well. So they will die if they go to fresh water, and uh, and for the fresh water, for the life, they would not go to the saline water because they will die there. Okay, that's
Right.
one example. And if the water as well, if you can see if the water get polluted, if you can see one species of fish there before, and the fish is start to disappear because of what? Because they can sense the changes of the quality of the water. Okay, they would not stay. They will not stay there because that it's not safe for them to stay. So what we can do is we must allow the water to free from all the waste resources or chemicals or pollutants
Right.
or contamination for few days. Okay, for few days,
Right.
like for 2 weeks,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
the longest. So you can see the water can back to normal, and you can see
Right.
the water life try to get back into the system. Okay, so if you not
Okay.
stop pollution, then you can see it will be more degraded and more degraded. So no more life
Right.
inside there. Okay.
So, how do you think like the blue revolution that is going all around, blue revolution in the fishery section? So, do you think that there should be a policy related to this, a firm policy or legal policy where factories determine their water in or pollute the riverside?
Riverside,
Yeah,
the factories.
yeah,
Yes, I personally think yes, we need to do the precautions. We need to take some precautions and do the straighten the regulations regarding the evolutionary of factories.
okay,
So we need to take like if to revise all the practices before. We need
yeah,
to take care like revise the SOPs, the procedures, because once we need to start to give out the clean, give out the
right,
green environment. So we
right,
must take action and start with the regulation. Okay, so
okay,
we must straighten and please don't let the factories or the manufacturers polluted the environmental system. Okay,
right,
what one thing it's actually we do have the regulations. Okay, we do have the regulations. Before this, you might never heard before about the environmental capacity, the
okay,
carrying capacity is how
okay,
much the environmental can carry the pollutants. Okay, if let's
okay,
say one country produce 0.1 milligram the pollutant,
okay,
it's already past the standard and allow the wastewater to the system. But
right,
actually, when you come to the system and the system not really can carry all from the 200 or 300 industries, that is
okay,
called as carrying capacity. Because of what we only have so much little water inside the river, we have
right,
like very limited fresh air, and
exactly,
suddenly yes, suddenly all the 300 factories giving out all the pollutants and the contaminants to the air and to the water, and we get everything gone. Okay, in just in seconds. Uh, and it will get worse day after day.
Dr. Azra, we have one question from one of the viewer,
Mm-hmm,
Mr. Zafur Qasim.
mm-hmm.
He asks, how significant are environmental policy implementation? How
How
significant is our
to
environmental policy implementation?
yes, we every country should have their own environmental policy,
Right,
and the policy itself is very good to have. But another things about the policy, the good environmental policy is how implement. Okay, if you do have the good policy of the for the environment, but it will give us nothing if we do not implement the policy. Okay,
okay,
so it include regulations, the procedure, the enforcement, everything. So if we are good in policy, but we are not good in implementing, it's nothing. So I would say that is very significant to the implementation of the environmental policy to one's country. Okay.
thanks a lot, Dr. Azra, for your valuable time and for your valuable things which you have shared. We are very grateful for you. Today we have friends from Thailand and Indonesia also who are watching along the overall webinar.
Yeah.
Some of them have like farms from the villages and also from
Yeah. Yeah.
NGOs.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really thank you for sharing your valuable insights. Yeah,
I hope
uh,
so.
thank you.
I hope you get some beneficial from my sharing this afternoon and can get back to your your routine with more more courage to get the environmental safe and everything. because of you are the one, you are the industry, okay? You are the
Right.
industry that must look after the environment. We as well, we as the individual as well, we take care of the environment. We do recycle, we practice green at our home, but actually the bigger scale is from the industry. So I would like to express again my hope and my wish the country to be more cleaner and the Asian to cleaner, to be more safe to stay in, and hopefully we can pass very safe and clean environment to our generation. Okay, so industry again play a major role
Right.
in in look after the nature. Okay.
Thank you. Lily, we have a great sharing today. I'm passing back the webinar for you. Thank you everyone for your participation and see you again soon next week. We have an expert of augmented reality, that's AR from Russia, sharing with us. Thank you and see you again.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Mr.
Arvin.
Arvin.
Thank you, Arvin, and also thank you, Dr. Asra. And
Thank
I
you, Lily.
hope everyone have a nice sharing for the question on the chat box. We will send them all to the expert and do this posting on our Facebook group at Knowledge for Action. And you can reach the expert themselves at their email too. And if you have doubts, just send us a message and we will relay them over, especially for our Myanmar viewer. And this video can be viewed in our Facebook page and website, so you can continue your question posting. And thanks for participating our webinar and hope you guys have a nice weekend. And we will end the webinar now. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. See you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.